A moment took place on last night's edition of Hannity on Fox News that was so absurd, so dishonest that we have to talk about it. And luckily, CNN host Breonna Keeler also talked about this and did a nice job of ripping to shreds the dishonest talking points brought forward here by Sean Hannity. So before I play the Breonna Keeler fact check, I just want to respond to this clip by itself, and then we'll move forward. So Hannity is working double time lately to try to run cover for the Republican Party amid the disastrous situation for them politically, given the outrage that people are understandably exhibiting based on the post Roe v. Wade world. And specifically in Arizona, as we've been talking a lot about, the Arizona Supreme Court, enabled by the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned, they upheld a 123-year-old law, Civil War era, before Arizona was even a state, that's a near total ban on abortion. And so the Arizona Supreme Court said this is enforceable. And Sean Hannity, understanding how this is so bad for his party and for Donald Trump, for the reasons we've explained extensively in the past on this, an example of the world that is caused by the policies of Republicans and the advocacy of Republicans, including the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And so then here he tries to flip it around and say, well, it's Democrats who are going to have to figure this out, so really blame them. Very weird. I'll address just how dishonest it is after playing it. Take a look.
And the people on the left are so desperate, attacking Trump now for an Arizona Supreme Court ruling that upholds what is a Civil War era law banning abortion. This will be fixed in the next week or two. Let not your heart be troubled. I can pretty much assure that will happen. Trump opposes the law and this ruling, or you can believe Joe's make pretend Donald Trump that doesn't exist. And you know what?
I'm going to really quickly pause your viewing of this video to ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just click that subscribe button, plus the like button as well, and the alert bell so you get notifications. Back to it.
Arizona's governor is a Democrat. The state's attorney general is a Democrat. The state legislature is almost evenly divided. If Democrats, you want to get rid of the law, well, you have a chance right now to get rid of it. And I would advise you, get rid of it. They would rather use it as a political tool ahead of November. Most politicians on the left do not actually care about making your life better.
The projection there is crazy. So before I get to the most absurd part of this, I do just want to say, when he says Trump opposes the law, so don't blame him. Trump takes credit and is to blame for the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which is the reason why these sorts of rulings can even happen. So no, he doesn't get to then go, I guess anything really bad that happens because of me, don't blame on me. No, we're going to blame it on him, especially when we go to vote. But then Sean Hannity says the governor of Arizona is a Democrat and the attorney general is a Democrat and the state legislature is evenly divided. And what he means is Republican majority in both chambers. So if a law is going to be changed, the Republicans would have to get on board with that. And guess what? They didn't. The Associated Press reports the Arizona legislature devolved into shouts of shame, shame on Wednesday as Republican lawmakers, Republican lawmakers quickly shut down discussion on a proposed repeal of the state's newly revived 1864 law that criminalizes abortion throughout pregnancy unless a woman's life is at risk. The state Supreme Court cleared the way on Tuesday for enforcement of the pre-statehood law. Arizona abortion providers vowed Wednesday to continue service until they're forced to stop, possibly within weeks. And so right now, the reason why this hasn't been overturned by the state legislature and then, yes, signed into law by the Democratic governor is because of Republicans, Sean. And you might think, oh, well, you probably just read me a headline reporting on something that happened after Hannity did this edition of the show. And he was assuming that Republicans would do the right thing and get rid of this 123-year-old law. Nope. This happened, as Breonna Keeler will point out, hours. The Sean Hannity thing happened hours after the event of Republicans preventing the overturning of this law. So he's trying to portray to his viewers a situation where Democrats will be the one, if this doesn't get overturned, responsible for it. Not at all. And if you understand how the law works, it's not just the governor who can unilaterally decide to rip out a law from the books. And so I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. And I don't mean disrespect by this, maybe a little bit. No, I don't mean disrespect. If you're watching someone like Sean Hannity and you very easily could go fact check these things, do you not feel insulted? He thinks that you won't. He thinks that you don't have the critical thinking faculties to go out there, fact check what he's saying, and then realize he's not trustworthy. And he assumed you'll just plug your brain into his show and allow him to fill it with whatever garbage he'd like. That's insulting to you, not me. It's insulting to you. I don't trust Sean Hannity. All right, here's Breonna Keeler fact checking this.
The answer is Democrats doing him a solid.
Trump opposes the law and this ruling, or you can believe Joe's make pretend Donald Trump that doesn't exist. And you know what? Arizona's governor is a Democrat. The state's attorney general is a Democrat. The state legislature is almost evenly divided. If Democrats, you want to get rid of the law, well, you have a chance right now to get rid of it. And I would advise you, get rid of it. They would rather use it as a political tool ahead of November.
While Sean Hannity generally operates in a fact-free zone, he is right about one thing there. Arizona's legislature is almost evenly divided in favor of Republicans. And when he proposed that Democrats get rid of the law, he did so disingenuously, and I'm being generous, because a Democrat tried to do just that. Stephanie Stahl Hamilton back in January, and her bill never even got a hearing in committee. But Arizona doesn't need Democrats to save the day. They've got Republicans, and one tried to get moving on a vote to overturn that 1864-era abortion ban yesterday. And 6 hours before Sean Hannity suggested the Arizona legislature could just make it go poof, a Republican made sure it didn't.
All in favor of that motion, vote aye. Aye. All opposed, vote no. Ayes have it, so ordered.
Arizona House Rep David Livingston putting the Arizona House into recess until next Wednesday, less than 1 week before abortion becomes illegal in the state, all but ensuring abortion providers will stop providing abortions. And yet that was the point. That was the car that Trump was chasing when he set up the Supreme Court to guarantee it would allow states to ban abortion.
Yeah, great job there from Breonna Keeler. And the other point is, you could interpret Hannity's point a little bit differently, which would be, hey, there's a lot of Democrats in power in Arizona. Now, the legislature is majority Republican, but it's a narrow margin, so just a few moderate Republicans and the Democrats could maybe come together and work on something, even though in this case, the Arizona speaker is the one who prevented it from being discussed. But in some situation, they could figure something out, right? Maybe that's what he was saying. So then is your argument, Sean? Because this is the way he phrased it. Democrats, they're in power. They'll probably overturn it all as well. Your argument then, right, is that Democrats will make things okay. Because you have to admit, if Republicans had a supermajority, this is not getting changed. Otherwise, you would have said, hey, Republicans have majority in the state legislature, in both chambers, so they're going to figure it out because they know this is going too far. No, the world, Hannity, that you advocate for would not have anyone in power who would step in and intervene. Trump sure isn't. He said that time and time again. I'll let the states do what they want to do. I don't care. And he's the one who even allowed for this to happen by getting the justices that he did onto the Supreme Court. And so then if your remaining argument is, yeah, but there are Democrats, so I'm sure they can figure something out. And so don't be mad at Republicans when Democrats are probably going to save the day. Weird argument, Sean, I have to say. And I think we should just vote for the people who are doing the correct thing and that you're relying on for political purposes to do the right thing to save your political rear end. So there it is. Credit again to Breonna Keeler. Opposite of credit to Sean Hannity for that dishonest mess of a monologue. And please make sure you're subscribed to this channel.